And inhale. Om Namo long, deep heart breath. Okay. And today, Baba Siri Chand says about karmas from the times. Do you all understand that? Karmas from the times. Times. Do you remember about the times that we're talking about?
No.
No. Okay, so with Yogi Bhajan has told us it was like at least 50 years ago that he would tell us about what is going to happen, that the whole world is going to go nutty or gone or whatever you want to say about. Have you, so Jokian Devi,
I'm right here.
Do you know about that? For the times?
It's not coming to. I think that would be
It's kind of like the end times, or a little bit like the break between the Aquarian and the Piscean, and it some people might want to call it like an apocalypse, but it's more like instead of the end, it's also the beginning at the same time. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Oh, good. Okay. So you know about karmas, Karmas.
Yes.
Okay. So we're finding for the how do you say, for the source for way long time ago, or why is this for the times, for those situations? Why is this happening? Do you all understand that?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now going to stay with 3 minutes and begin. Be sure to listen from Baba Siri Chand, not from your everyday self. Be sure. And inhale. And exhale. And continue to breathe. Okay. So, Japji on Devi. Is that okay?
Yeah. I only got a little bit, but that's okay. I have karma from the times. It is a time of evolution of humanity, a rebirth of humanity to a higher consciousness, or maybe better said, frequency. These times are what it takes to change us en masse. That's all I got.
Mm. Can you feel it a little bit more? What's happening? Stay with Baba Siri Chand.
Although it looks like fear, it's not to be feared. And Baba Siri Chand, I don't get that, because what looks like fear looks like fear. Oh, he's laughing and arguing with me. Okay. Because the outcome is beyond fear. That's a hard one for me. It's what it takes to do the shift. It's what it takes to wake us all up. And it is in every aspect of our lives. Food, government, water, friends, life. So we can't avoid it or ignore it. But we can rely on, I just got the word avatars. I know what that means. Angels and saints, the gurus and the sages. We can rely on our spiritual guidance. I think that's it.
Well, that was wonderful. Yes.
I like that explanation of no fear, but more like an intentional go through it. I guess I see it as put your head up, look straight ahead. It's just like the sailboats here again. Dang it. It's the same story. Jump.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, so you're talking also about the avatars and the angels and so on?
Yeah. Did you say antars or avatars? I don't know how it was. I didn't know how you phrase that. Avatars?
Okay. And how would you say that?
You mean, what do I describe as that? If I heard that?
Yeah.
Okay. They could be I see it as something like Saint Germain, Mary Magdalene. Thinking on my hands here. Let's see. People that have lived and that have moved on. Ascended masters. There you go. Ascended masters. That's how I would say it. Yep.
Good.
Yeah.
And then what about you? What about the light workers?
Light workers. Yeah. I'm hearing that there are levels of light workers. There are some going straight for a broader work. I don't know the answer here. And light workers might be one-on-one, like your neighbor, your children, one-on-one. But then there's a broader sense. I don't know a term. Is there a term? Okay. Broader, like more global or more even spatial, all Earth, all of the universe. They're that broad. We're not all the same type of light workers.
Oh, okay.
Different jobs, I guess. Different jobs.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Now, was anything else that you want to say?
Oh, well, I just got, we will become empowered. It is our empowerment that is the purpose. It is a good purpose. Looks like hell, but it's a good purpose. So I imagine we stay in meditation. Oh, it's necessary to stay in meditation, to hold the calm, to stay connected.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
That's lovely. Thank you, dear.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll give Paul.
Yes. Yeah, thank you, Japji. That was great.
Wait a minute, I can't hear too well. I'll give Paul.
Hello, can you hear me?
Okay,
Now we can.
Okay. I was just kind of mumbling, sorry.
Okay.
Baba Siri Chand, the first thing I got was that the entire world is going through a dark night. A dark night, of the soul. And this is what I've personally been experiencing. And I feel like it's working off. I've been working a lot of karma for ancestors and so forth. This is a time of cleansing, he says. And yeah, the whole work, because I have a lot of fear coming up, lots of it, about the election and what's going to happen. And he's like, well, he, just things, he was saying, that sometimes what I think are very, very important are really not that important. I get distracted, or there's interference, and so I need to help others to stay focused on the guru. And then he reminded me about the song "Lean on Me." Lean on me when you're not strong, and and so forth. Help you carry on. So it was like, lean on. So I need to remember to lean on Baba Siri Chand as a guide for Guru, and right now it's critical to as much as I can to remember to stay focused on the Guru. And soul will lead me, and I can ask soul why, and soul will never tell me why. So I should not ask why. I should just listen to soul and follow, with deep discernment, profound, discernment and clarity, what soul is asking, because everyday self and ego likes to run the show. And,
Oh, yeah.
so this is a time of, Guru, as you said, the teacher. I'm being taught, as much as it's not me, I'd much rather lead. I hate to say this, but I'd much rather be Guru. But that's not the case. Well, sort of, but but I must listen. I must listen very carefully, and carry out for the goodness and for the good of others what I hear, when I listen. And that song is from, Lean on Me um from Baba Siri Chand, is something that I need to I'll bring into my meditation, listen to it, maybe sing it to myself, and to remember that I'm not in this alone. We're not in this alone. We are one, and uh we are all in our own way going through this dark night of the soul. I haven't met one person yet who is in reality and who is willing to share the truth. I have not met one person who is not dealing with something. So I so there's something about, we're birthing a new age, and as we birth, Baba Siri Chand is just so calm, it's just, as we birth this new age, it doesn't come without, oh, well, you see, the Sri Guru Granth Sahib says, pain is the medicine and pleasure is the disease. So this birthing of this new Aquarian age, we have to accept that it comes with it all the necessary pain, I guess, that change brings with it. And impermanence, I think you said, is darkness. I mean, so for me, I fight change tooth and nail, and I've been really working on letting go and saying, oh, okay to change, and then saying, okay, Guru, Baba Siri Chand, somebody help me to see and to know what my next steps are in the highest good for the greatest growth of everybody around me, including myself. I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay. Now, Gyan Das Pram. Oh, by the way, we may have to say make the session time longer a little bit. Maybe.
Okay.
Satnam,
Okay.
thank you. So for myself, just noticing the formula, Baba Siri Chand, mixing up, all of the different elements and the formulae of the alchemy. And today, it's all of our names sort of being mixed together, how that works out when we request a spiritual name, when we start looking into the alchemy, or for me, just what it is sitting in a peaceful place and noticing something that I love, right? It's nature, it's all of this free movement. And as a student, being called to notice upon myself from all directions. And as a child, I was always amazed by the kaleidoscope of looking into that one thing and just seeing so many different things and feeling a vibration of that from some other place that sort of seemed to make it a little bit more believable through my senses. And I think when we notice what we're looking at here on the planet with all of the creation and destruction and the correlation with that, within the names and our service for that highest and best good, or being able to handle all of this information of, the power of the saint and the power of the tectonic plates and the light that's within us, and our ability to see the light in so many different ways, reflections. And when we notice our involvement in that through the creation and through these ways of discovery, that we've been sitting for a while with a certain energy, that we've come in a new way of expanding our learning to a point where we're at a decision point of trusting ourselves or trusting something that we have no idea what it is. If it's a totally new representation of who we are, or just an acceptance of something that we've been listening to through our ancestors over the years, of the realization of that being within all of this, and we can look through the pictures and the stories, and we can also sit in a silence and have some kind of a way of understanding that through our senses, which can be brought to a minimum, which can be brought to a dull place of tastelessness and emptiness, and coming along with where we arrive and where we exit. If that wants to be a simple thing in some ways, that we're facing with this, I do not own that I create what I have from where I am, or that we come from somewhere else, right? So, and then we can just stop explaining and be in that peacefulness, right? Of that being, being able to handle everything. It does take a certain amount of courage and acceptance to come to that place of, being able to handle all of this understanding of what we're going through now, witnessing the family, the tearing apart of the family, to the point of, do we have a feeling about it? Are we noticing enough that we are here to change that? To let that all go to the point where the destruction sort of comes in. I'm noticing, the certain amount of destruction that it has taken in order for this planet to form itself the way that it's been. And then now we have a chance to soften that once again from a point of love, right? And then the noticing of the peacefulness is just the reminder of what Baba Siri Chand is showing to me within the stillness of myself and the reflection of the stillness of, parts of the planet and whatnot, that's our simpleness, to find that love and to get into that enjoyment of enjoying ourselves and, back into the family and discovering the magic that truly is representing the sustenance of life for us, and our way to move beyond, what are they eating out there if they're able to travel? And we can notice it in our ways of, as we've mentioned before, the different layers of our breathing, whether it be through some of our reactions to certain chemicals and, even the dirt. And if we come into our mucus, we can notice that there's a dirty part of it, that comes from way down deep, and noticing within our diet. Yeah, we're more than just a machine here. And I think that if we notice that we are made from love, and that we can stay in that love point enough to, take in that amount of information of Kali, or the black hole is able to just take all of that in, all of that has happened, that nuclear energy, and just and take it in as an organism that is one family, that's all of us, and that ability to change that all to make true freedom for us to all to enjoy ourselves without, the worry of having to look ahead in frustration or by fears, so that, within our breath, we can have that subconscious way of handling all of that information, that, it's all love and war, and the understanding of all that information together, right? With the lightning and the breaking apart and the falling back together again, and Steely Dan, right? Quote Steely Dan again. And, any major world that falls apart comes together again, and when we wake up, or when we're in that dream state, we have the ability to see that creation that we're allowing, to move beyond this body and within this realm, these other realms, and within the bodies of, studying the bodies, relating to the other beings that are here, and, the ways that we move within the other bodies and the creations that have been here in the vibration of this beautiful bubble. It's just such a beautiful bubble that we all have a chance, that we're here sharing together now in this ultimate vibration of what a creation we have made, that, can we all put our souls and our call into that seeing of that healing, of that way of destroying each other physically in this realm, that we're a part of the actual. If we can change our actual way of love in our being to stay in the now, this is what will create the new consciousness. We are here. There are here others of ourselves that I'm Neil from Orion. Okay, I'm willing to admit that I came from another place outside of this planet, created by form of your explanation that can be laid out in movies and songs and vibrations, and noticing the smoothness of the sand and how it can bring us to different places when we add water to it, and that simplicity of being in that Sat Nam Waheguru circle, that completeness of that circle of the truth is my identity, and being in this infinite now. Yeah. So why is it not possible that there are the survivors of the other world are here, and this is the proving of science catching up to technology, but that
Okay.
vibration is still here, right? And that,
Yeah. Thank
we
you,
shouldn't
dear.
be, yeah. Waheguru.
Okay.
I have
Thank
my own spaceship.
you.
Much, Papa Siri Chand. There is life
Okay.
outside of this mind.
Okay. Now we have seen Christy. Christy? Hi there. Okay. Japa Saraswati, can you talk to Christy about Angel?
Yeah, Christy, we tuned in and we listened to a message from Baba Siri Chand about it was about karma, and the times. And the times are the break between the Aquarian age and the Piscean age. And we're all sharing our messages from Baba together now, but because if you would like to share your message, you can at the end, or else you can be an angel today who is a silent participant. Welcome to our group. Thank you for coming.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now, wait a minute. Oh, South City. Hi, dear.
Welcome, everybody. So happy to be here. So I got was unusually complicated. So I'm going to try to make it really simple. So here we are in the Piscean age, and we've been in training for a long time, decades, in this transformation with the tools of Kundalini and Tantric and all that. So this transition to the Aquarian age, which I'm only just beginning to understand, I got a lot of guidance and insight requires a totally new kind of group consciousness. So we're coming from centuries, a group consciousness that was a tribal one, where every individual had to kind of surrender their identity to conform, and their, individualism to conform to like the tribal culture. And what I am being guided, that I grew up in that a kind of a revolution from that into very profound kind of individualism. And the United States really was a big part of recognizing that, like all those revolutions, the French, moving out of class consciousness, group consciousness, where you had to knuckle down and fit in to the tribal model, the class model, to very individualistic. And then what I got was that we're coming to the end of that individualism as identity, and a maturation into a new kind of group identity, where we can be in a group, but not tribally, where you surrender your identity, but to a group consciousness where individual identity is still is porous to the group. So we get to be our unique soul, ourselves, but we have the group connection through soul, which is infinite and all inclusive and transparent to, can contain individual difference in a much more transcendent, larger identity of group. So that was like the main thing I got. And then a big part of it was, don't worry. Oh, climate change is our ally because it's forcing awareness and transformation. And it's like the harbinger of what's coming. It's part of the process. The earth is telling us we have to, learn now to maintain and balance. It's really a beautiful balance, our personal, individualistic, unique identities, like snowflakes that are all different, but it's all snow. So climate change is our ally in that, to not be afraid, and to really, I have to make a career decision whether to go back into high-end tutoring and teaching, or continue with my journey in environmental stuff, like teaching people how to garden, shifting to native plants, all that stuff. And what I got is that City, you got to help with the climate, and where you have to go with that. So that was really reassuring for me personally. I'm trying to think of anything else. I think that's it. And that all of our practices, that our experience in the Dharma, we've been already experiencing and developing and experimenting with this soul form of group consciousness in ashrams, in yoga classes, in all the events, tantrics and solstices and all those events. So that it's very important for me to continue and even get more involved in those things, especially for each of us here that are really blessed and challenged, gifted teachers. And what I got was every single person here is a teacher in their own way, and it might be in their own settings, in their own style. So that's what I got.
Okay, now let me ask you something.
Sure.
When you're talking about group, in the beginning, when I heard from Yogi Bhajan that we would become one, and then with the group, and I said, oh no. but now it appears would you say that what we are listening from soul and also the white, what did you say? The masters and so on, all the
Yeah.
spirits listening for all of us together, and that puts us all, how can I say? And that is when us to learn how together become that, what do you say?
Oneness.
A oneness. Thank you, thank you. That's it. So is that true, Sat City?
You just said it so beautifully, and the word I didn't get, but you it's so wonderful because you in your own growth, spiritual path, you've gone from maybe from the individual to the one.
Mm-hmm.
And I always loved your stories about early days in the ashram. They were very entertaining, and even so, I would say yes, but the word you use is truly a soul word, which is oneness. It's a new kind of group of oneness where everybody gets to be the individual, unique snowflake in the big snowfall.
Mm-hmm.
Is that making any sense?
Yes.
It's the oneness. Yeah. So thank you for that word, because I didn't get that, and it really captures it.
Good.
The message I was getting. So don't be afraid, and when I got a really strong message, don't be afraid of these disastrous things, because they're all doing the work. The storms are bringing people together, the climate change, and the other thing I did get that I forgot to add, that we're evolving out of war. Because war is the total antithesis of soul group consciousness and oneness. We're maturing out of it. We can't. That's just inevitable. It's one of the reasons there's so many wars right now, and the U.S. is going to be really important in that. I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah. Okay.
Siri
Yeah.
Gian,
Yes.
this is Jurgenda V. Can I ask a question? It's
Yes.
if I have time, it's to Guru Das Prem.
Yes.
Sure.
Are you there?
I am.
There you go. When listening to what you were saying, I wanted to make sure I understood it. So I just wrote down, don't take it as a total quote. I'm just going through. Are you talking about, you were talking about changing the love in our being, the way there's something about love that you want to be more pure? And what about, were you saying that we are becoming, I'm putting words in your mouth so I could understand this, galactical ownership of our ability for that mystery and magic, or owning our human power or ability to go broader, that we are more spiritual and capable of managing time, energy, and shifts of reality? That's my question.
Totally.
Okay, thanks.
And so while I am given a chance to speak right now, I was gifted with a place at the headwaters in Mount Shasta where I went on a 5-day trip, and upon moving some water bottles for a person, because a lot of people like to get their water there. Some people need to get their water there because they live off grid. I met a statue called Prama Torani, and it's a female who has very long hair, and she's able to stick her hair into the water and take as much water as she can, because Buddha is being attacked by so many arrows of fire, and he's at the height of his meditation. She needs to wet down the arrows. And so I think within this magical moment of discovering these gifts through, this female presence, this divine presence, that there are certain things that are infused, and there are societies that have followed these statues for years and whatnot. And Bubba was, just telling me this part of the miracles that happen through our gifting of our seva. I was helping somebody carry water that may have been a little too heavy for them, and I was able to do it at the time. So upon noticing this man come in the parking lot in this really old pickup truck, and then questioning him, and he being able to tell me the story and the passing down of these stories and the vibrations and that. So yeah, it's just so beautiful to be able to sit with another person who was able to reinforce what I had said in another way. And I think we finished each other's sentences. And I think in that way of our understanding the vibration and our ability to explain that is part of the new knowledge of that acceptance of being able to take those saints in and say, oh, wow, why do I, to take it and be good with it, to like soften to that point of that, that pregnant pause of the prana and apana of that, the stillness of that where we lose our subconsciousness, where there is a time where we can be floating on a cloud, right? So yeah, and Waheguru do that too, and I think that we all agree here, and right. And I
Yeah.
just saw Siri coming back in, and she's able to speak so well that I think sometimes this vibration shared between us is just, it's the Waheguru, for me, and back to the mom, and that noticing the stillness of the, the eons of that holding back, like that us men, we have a chance to hold back again, right? To stop, pushing ourselves onto others, in a way that's creating a
Yeah,
confusion.
that's
So
fine.
yeah.
Thank
And
you so much. But we also have two other people.
thank
Okay. So
you.
that's
Thank you.
very good. But we understand we need some more. Thank you. Okay. Adi Munder.
Yeah. What has come to me a lot lately is part of our job is adding joy. And the joy, even though we see everything around us, there's so much around us. So even though we see dark things happening in the world, in the planet, in the country, to balance that, it needs one thing to balance is to add joy to the whole vibration of the planet and to our world and to our individuals everywhere. And one of the ways of adding joy is, as people have been saying, notice in a quiet place or even in a not quiet place. Notice what brings us joy, and out of the gratitude is what fuels it, fuels joy. So verbally thinking and then verbally out loud or in a whisper to yourself, for example, this morning I had a good night's sleep, and the gratitude was, in the past there have been times where it's been difficult to sleep, but last night it was wonderful. I mean, I slept through the night, and so the first thing in the morning was, I'm so grateful to have had a good night's sleep. Looking outside in the rain or the sun is shining right now. Just finding small things and noticing big things that one is grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
finding the peaceful place is often just through breath, slowing it down to 5 or 6 breaths per minute, even for a short time, brings one into a calmness that allows awareness. And the oneness, I go back to always the Ho'oponopono, where we are all contributing to the one. And as we add love and apology and gratefulness and forgiveness, that is adding those elements to the world in general. So that's what I got.
Nice.
That's wonderful. So, Harimander,
Mm-hmm.
you tell us that you don't know from Baba Siri Chand from Seoul, but look at there, you did that.
Well, I
Beautiful.
get my messages from Baba Siri Chand or Soul or whatever throughout the day. I mean,
Oh,
and I don't get them necessarily. I get them here. I get them through listening to others.
oh, okay.
They trigger the things that I have picked up and that the lessons I'm learning. So what I'm approaching it, I receive it and approach it in a different way.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Now we
Actually,
got it.
I've heard what that different way could be called a circular thought process. Because guess who has that? Me. I will try to. It's the weirdest thing. So I read it, I went, crap. That's like, it's unnerving to people that might think you got dropped on your head as a baby. That's what I was told. So a circular thought pattern, you just described how I think, which is, that's why I had to ask Candace Prem, did I get it right? But what's actually a very creative thought process. Look how far you went with the thought process.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, both of you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay. Japa Saraswati.
Satnam, well, the first thing that came to me was the 20th Kodi from Japji, and I have already bored you guys before by reciting it, but I want to just read this because it really is at the heart of what my message was. So
Thank you.
it says, when the hands and the feet and the body are dirty, water can wash the dirt away. When the clothes are soiled and stained by urine, soap can wash them clean. But when the mind is stained by sin, it can only be cleansed with the love of the name. Virtue and vice do not come by mere words, but by actions repeated again and again. What you eat is what you sow. O Nanak, by the hukam of the divine command, we come and go in reincarnation. And the line that the line that I've been mulling over for weeks and weeks and weeks with this is about virtue and vice do not come by mere words, but by actions repeated again and again. That those are the ones that become engraved in the soul. And that's what I felt for the karmas, is that like we don't incur karma by something that like we jaywalked yesterday. You know, that's probably not karma because we don't do that necessarily every single day. It's not going to be, you know, the thing that defines us. But for me, the things that we do over and over again, those are what makes karmas. And then where my meditation went, I don't know if you guys remember, it was many months ago. I was talking about the Suez Canal and why there are karmas there. And what the message I got from Baba was that because there has been so much energy traded in those ports that over and over and over and over again for thousands of years, that area has had a lot of activity coming in and out of it. And so that's actions repeated again and again. That's why there's a lot of karma there. And then I heard as loud as day, and it was partially while Paul was talking, that it was Vayus. So Vayu has like a number of different meanings in Sanskrit. And
are you talking about Vayus?
yes, I am. And I have a really good picture that I found on the internet that I'm going to share the screen because I want to show you. Okay, is this sharing? Can you see this?
I can say, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Vayu Mudra.
Okay, so that's how you
Vayu
spell
Mudra.
Vayu. And this is how you do Vayu Mudra. But Vayu has a number of different meanings in for like Hindus. So one is that it is it's like air, but it's also like a pathway or a current of air. And when we are, it can also be gassy, like inflammation gassiness. And part of what I saw in that message was that like when we're agitated and inflamed, I saw to do this mudra, like Baba showed me to do this mudra, and to help release that, to help release that inflammation, and to help what I'm feeling is to help regulate the water. Sorry, but it is air, but also to regulate the water, that like when we're not inflamed, that the water will flow more easily. So that's what I saw about also nadis. So Vayus are pathways for air, but nadis are pathways for liquid. So like at the Suez Canal, that's liquid, but like in our bodies, it could be veins and arteries carrying, you know, blood or bile or whatever other in our body. So, and also Vayu, it's part of the root of Pavan, like it's about the breath. And so it comes with us with our breath, like from our first breath, that's considered Vayu. And that's when that particular deity, that Hindu deity, comes into our body, is with the breath. But so what I felt about the karmas for the times is that it's like all of the karmas from before, not all of them, but the karmas are coming home to roost. So the message, or part of the message that I got from Baba, was about the elements. So the Vayus would be for the air, the nadis would be for liquid, and for earth, I felt, this is how we regulate them. So we regulate them just as Paul said, or I think it was Paul, about slowing the breath. Who said to breathe just 5 or 6 times a minute? Maybe that was Hadimandir. I think that was Hadimandir. To slow the breath and to breathe intentionally to reduce inflammation. Oh, this is what we're doing for helping us to face those karmas. And then for liquid, we're supposed to drink a lot of water to flush. For our earth element, we must be walking or moving to circulate our energy. And for the fire element, this was part of the karmas too, because I immediately got afraid about the karmas coming home to roost. And I think about all of the horrible things I put in my mouth sometimes. Like I really like to drink very hot things and I burn the inside of my mouth. And I know that that's part of my sometimes talking too much, of burning my mouth and self-punishment. Yes, but also other ways for me. That was the first thing I saw, was other heated cooked foods, you know, that's one of the main ways that I interact with the fire element is and I became like, oh my gosh, when the karmas come home to roost, I felt like my mouth, my tongue, my esophagus, my belly, would probably feel a little bit of agitation because of the actions I've done again and again. And so that was my message. I guess let me repeat that main part is so that when the karmas are coming home to roost, that like I guess the message I got was that it's not going to be necessarily all at once. That, like there's going to be good days and bad days and things that, we feel like we're feeling all at once on this day, but like maybe the times haven't come for another 6 months or something like that, but we are getting ready for it with our spirit and with our body. And that it is helping us to, my feeling is to become our essential self um, for our next incarnation, like coming back to that Japji. Okay, so like through the reincarnation, this is preparing us for our reincarnation, even if it's in this very lifetime. And it's the same thing with the water, like wash your body clean and wash the clothes clean, and wash the mind clean with the love of the name. Like that's the etheric way for cleansing. That so when the karmas are coming home to roost, to be slowing our breath, doing pranayama, and drinking lots of healthy fresh water, and using our interacting with the earth element, however it is, whether we're like crawling or rolling or walking or climbing or however we want to get around, but that circulating of the energy. And also so for energy work and for light work, part of the message was that who was talking about being an energy worker. I got the message for us to be doing that energy work on ourselves, but that we have to eat light in order to help facilitate our light work. Because otherwise, if we're eating a lot of heavy tamasic foods, that's going to make it harder for us. We're going to feel the karmas more. It's going to make us more inflamed. It's going to be more difficult for us to overcome these things that feel like big hurdles, you know? And I guess Ganesh, like the remover of obstacles, like, so these are all ways of flowing, like, and air flowing, liquid flowing, body flowing, digestive tract flowing freely. Those are all ways of flowing. And the karmas are going to feel like blocks. They're going to feel like a stumbling block or a roadblock or like a blockage. And I've been doing, it's a holiday right now. Oh my gosh, I went up to the Hermitage in Maine, and it's a holiday right now for Ganesh, which it was kind of off my radar. But I don't know if you remember, Siri Gian. So last week I said that a guy from the ashram in Massachusetts had gotten the message that we should do chanting Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha, which is for Ganesh to help remove obstacles, and for Kali, who is the loving mother protection. And so anyway, I went, I got invited to go up to the Hermitage, and it was Ganesh's celebration. So I've been chanting for Ganesh like endlessly this week, the Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. And that was part of what else I saw on this meditation, was to be, like, or however you process, not process your obstacles or process those blockages. But for me, I really like to turn them over to Ganesh. But Baba Siri Chand will help too. I think that was my message.
Mm-hmm. Good.
Yeah.
And you, excuse me, there is a manual called Vayu Mudra or something like that. But
Oh,
but we have those manual. Mm-hmm.
Where do I
okay.
get that?
I'm going to look it up.
Okay, I would like that, Japa, too.
Okay. Good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, so Christy, do you understand what's happening here?
She couldn't take it. She left. I'm just teasing.
Did she? No, I
No,
think
I'm
she's
teasing.
still
I have no idea.
here. Don't tease her.
Okay,
Just the new person.
I
okay,
saw on the chat, she says her name is Christy, and thanks for letting her listen in.
okay. Thank you
Come
so,
back anytime, Christy. We meet on Wednesdays at noon Eastern Standard Time is
okay,
when we start.
okay. And to do that, we have meditation for Baba Siri Chand, which is a very, very incredible old, or no, he doesn't say old. Anyway, he said it's an ancient form.
Yeah.
Okay. So, okay, we'll be together and so Honey Munder, would you bring our, what do you call it?
Love song, our love song.
Yes, that's it. Okay, please go with that.
So inhale deeply, slowly, and exhale slowly. And inhale to begin. May the
Sunshine
all
Oh,
All the
surround you.
I
I
join
joy
on the
Bless you all.
That was amazing.
Okay, and stay together with the Holy Spirit or with the Guru or however you want to say these things. Okay, love you all.
Love you all.
Love you
Sana, thanks
all.
Bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Bye,
Sadnam.
everyone.
Bye. See you later.
See you next week.
Okay.